Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Nowakowski, and I'm joined by Jacob Lehman and George Martin of Two and a Half Hoopers. And this time, we're going to get the full episode in. Jacob, how you doing today?
I'm all right. Just rolled out of bed. Explains the hair, but I'm here to talk some hoops and some pigskin.
Yeah, looking good. George, how you doing?
The resident half hooper is having a very good day so far.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. But so last time I had these two on, for some reason, 40 minutes of NBA talk was just gone. And so all you got was the Jeopardy game. So today we're going to talk some pigskin, like Jacob said, some football, some NBA. And then Jacob wants some revenge in Jeopardy. So I created a
It was
Lakers...
a Mickey Mouse victory for George last night.
Mickey Mouse victory. Thank you.
Oh no, I created a Lakers Jeopardy, and so we'll see who wins that one at the end of the episode. But for today, we're going to start off in the NFL, where trade rumors. It is the time for trade rumors, and lots of free agent signings going to be coming in the next few weeks. And I think the biggest star out there is Deshaun Watson, who has made it very clear he's unhappy in Houston and wants out, but the Texans seem very reluctant to trade him. So I'll start with Jacob here. Do you think Deshaun Watson does get traded before week 1?
I don't. I think he's played his last game as a Texan, but I don't think he gets traded before week 1. I think he'll sit out. I think he'll exercise that option. He's not, stressed on money. He's not gonna, get injured sitting out. Obviously, he's not gonna, ruin his brand sitting out because everyone's on his side. So, I think he has played his last game, but I don't think the Texans realize that he will sit out. I think they think he's bluffing. So I think probably week 3 or so. That's my prediction when he'll be traded. But yeah, he not by week 1, I don't think.
Okay. George?
I have a few similarities with Lehman. I think he has played his last game in a Texans uniform, but I do think he gets traded before week 1. And the only reason why that is because I looked at their QB depth chart. AJ McCarron is their backup. And I know do not want to start week 1 with AJ McCarron. And in terms of draft picks, I know they don't have their first because it is with Miami, which is 3. So if they go, they can grab a guy in the second or third round whenever they have a pick, but I find it really hard to believe they're going to go into week 1 with AJ McCarron as their QB1.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think if he gets dealt, there's going to be a quarterback in return. I don't know if you guys listened, but I gave my prediction on where I think would be a realistic scenario for him to be traded. But Jacob, is there a certain team that you think is going to pick him up, or you are not sure?
Yeah, one thing that George, it's obvious point, like they don't want to go into, there's going to be a QB returned and also the draft picks. And I think the spot for him, it's not some crazy take. It's the Jets because they have a lot of draft picks. And then you could also send in, cheap Sam Darnold. You have him a 1-year rental. And then you draft around him in the Texans. I think that's the most boring spot. Everyone wants to see on the Niners. Everyone wanted him on the Colts, but they got Wentz because, there's so many, they're the quarterback away team. But I think Jets the most realistic. He likes the new coach they brought in, Saleh, from the Niners. So I think, Jets are my prediction.
Okay. George, do you have a certain team?
I want to see him in Miami with Coach Flores. They have a really good up-and-coming defense. They have a pretty decent offense right now. Their weapons are, Devontae Parker. They have a few receivers, but, that defense is already really good. And if they get him, I think they can at least contend in that division because the Bills are there. But I think that's a really, really good spot for him. And plus, who doesn't love Miami?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Miami would give Houston the best return because you're going to get Tua back.
And you could get your pick back.
And you'll probably get your pick back.
I don't follow as closely as you guys. It's Tua, and then how many picks are coming back in their rumored trade?
They're going to be asking 3 or 4 at least. Maybe 3 or 4.
I would say
3 in the first 2 rounds, I think, this year. So that would be theirs plus Sam Darnold, probably another pick.
You get Tua, you get the third, maybe an additional first and a third. I don't know. 3 picks is a lot, but 3 firsts are a lot, but that third overall could probably be valued high.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't like Tua, you just draft, Justin Fields or something.
Yeah. I think Miami would be the best spot talent-wise. I think Houston is okay with doing that. I don't know if Miami necessarily wants to get rid of Tua just yet because he only played a few games, and I think next year you'll see a better Tua because he was still coming off of that hip surgery he had. So I think he'll be healthier. but Miami is rumored to have mutual interest in running back Aaron Jones. So could you? I mean, they'll have
Interesting.
right? If they can get Aaron Jones, Devontae Parker, and then if somehow you get the trade for Watson, that's a scary team in my opinion.
I'm really interested that they would want to go after Aaron Jones, especially that they have Myles Gaskin there, who's really he produced well this year. He's on a cheap deal, and I mean Aaron Jones is great. He's a Pro Bowl running back, but just giving running backs big money scares me because look at what happened with Todd Gurley not even 2.5, 3 years ago. I mean, he got that max deal and then just immediately fell off. So
even Christian McCaffrey, he got injured this year on his first year with his big deal. He got injured in week 2 after getting the workload, but yeah, I don't know. I think Miami'd be good. Jacob, do you have anything to add to that?
No. And then, by the way, if my mic starts, cutting out, just let me know.
Your volume's a little bit low.
It's a little low.
It's getting better.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. One thing I want to add, I'm not opposed to giving running backs big money, just long contracts I'm opposed to. And I'm sure George agrees, but like you can pay them like a very top heavy 2-year salary. But like, the shelf life of running backs is not very good.
Front loading it would be smarter.
Yeah, definitely. So my scenario was that the most realistic, I think Carolina, they've cleared the cap space. They have a bridge quarterback they could send back, and they definitely have the draft picks to give up. And it's reported their GM says he wants to push hard to get Deshaun. Teddy Bridgewater has unfollowed the Panthers on social media, so he's gone regardless. I think he gets traded somewhere. But I mean, Carolina, if you get a healthy Christian McCaffrey, you have a couple young good receivers, DJ Moore and a few others, Curtis Samuel, and you have a decent defense behind you. I think Deshaun Watson in Carolina would be interesting to see. Would you guys think that's a good fit, bad fit? I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Good fit. What's their division? I'm horrible at the divisions.
They're the NFC South
with New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta.
Okay. So I don't think they could win the division there. I forgot Tampa was in there, but that division. I mean, the Saints are going to be slowing down, and then also Falcons are also in my notes later, but I think they're slowing down as well, nearing a rebuild. So I think, Panthers, this is the time to go for it. You can definitely snag a wild card spot if you get Deshaun Watson with that receiving core.
Yeah,
and pretty solid coaching staff.
Their coach. You asked about their coaching staff?
No, he just said they had a good one.
Coaching staff.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, Matt Rule. He was a very good head coach for them. Yeah.
They don't like Teddy Bridgewater.
I don't know why.
I send him back to us, baby.
Could be, I texted George about that. I love Teddy Bridgewater, and he's the only he's the only quarterback Zimmer's liked, but I miss Teddy. I'd love to see him back in Minnesota.
I was listening to that. Would you guys straight up swap Kirk for Teddy? Would you do it if you're the GM?
I want that pick. I want that pick.
I don't. So yeah, George wants the pick. I don't care that much about the pick. I care more about the salary dump that Cousins would be. He has $41 million to the cap next year. There is no one that's going to trade.
But who would you rather have under snap with this Vikings team next year, Teddy or Kirk? Forget just backyard football. Who do you want as your quarterback?
Probably
it's fun
Kirk.
though.
You like
the
Kirk?
dude? The dude hit the gritty against Detroit, man. That was so funny.
If we're talking just basic as a quarterback talent wise, Kirk. But if you look at the overall picture, I'd love to have Teddy back. But
just gotta hope the game's not on Monday Night Football and Kirk's your guy.
Seriously,
he did win one.
He won one. He did win one this year against Chicago.
Yes, sir.
George, do you think Deshaun would be a good fit in Carolina?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, that receiving core actually did pretty good for what they dealt with. I mean, DJ Moore went over 1,000 yards. Curtis Samuel's a great. They were using him a lot as a running back because I know he went to Ohio State, right?
Yeah, he is a free agent though, but he does want to stay. He does want to stay, but he is a free agent.
And then Robbie Anderson, Deshaun Watson would have that offense gunning points. And I mean, their defense was like below average, but with an offense at that point with Christian McCaffrey, Deshaun Watson, DJ Moore, you're putting up points.
Yeah, for sure. I hope he gets traded, but I'm with Jacob. I agree. He will sit out. He does not care about the money. And I think Houston does think he's bluffing, but I don't think he will. I think he's like, because what happens if he shows up to training camp or preseason or whatever, and then he gets injured? Then there's a big dilemma there and a big issue. And it's going to get ugly real quick, but hopefully Watson gets his wish and heads out. But one quarterback who did get his wish was Matthew Stafford. He was traded out of Detroit into the Los Angeles. He's new QB1 for the Rams. My question is, does he really improve the Rams that much? I'll start with George on this one.
Yes, I think he improves them a lot. He's one of the most underrated quarterbacks. I love the move because, I mean, if you looked at the games that the Rams were in or lost, I mean, they lost to the Jets, and I know Matt Stafford in that offense does not lose to the then 0-11 Jets. And you look at their defense, they were the number 1 rated defense, number 1 in yards allowed, passing allowed, passing touchdowns. So their defense was on fire. And I mean, you look at the weapons that Stafford had. He didn't even have Galladay last year. I mean, he was working with nobody. Marvin Jones. The running backs were in and out.
They did have TJ Hawkinson. He was the tight end. He did pretty good.
Oh my God, my fantasy boy.
I don't want to talk.
George.
I don't want to talk about that.
George called him a blocking tight end when I drafted him, and he just first week 18 points.
Oh
this is sick.
Gosh.
Speaking of fantasy, don't draft Panthers receivers. You'll learn to hate Curtis Samuel. But continue, George.
Yeah, I love the move. People were saying they gave up too much, but the Rams haven't used a pick since 2016, and they've been contending. I'm the guy. I'm the guy that says, get the stars and figure it out. The picks they're gonna be whatever, because you could fluff on all of them. So I love the move. I definitely think I think they win the division next year. I'm gonna put that out right now. That's my prediction. I think they win the NFC West.
Okay. Sorry, before we get to Jacob, I find that interesting, George, because you are so hung up. You want the Vikings to get a draft pick so bad for Kirk.
We're in a different position, Josh.
Fair
the
enough.
The Rams, they have a number 1 defense, and they're gonna start aging. Their cap is a little bit mixed, really high, I think. And when with the Lakers, we had LeBron. You gotta go get the superstar. The Nets, They got James Harden. When you're in a position to contend, you gotta go.
They also got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. For
they were old. They were like 34, man.
Jacob, does Stafford improve this Rams team?
Yeah, look, I love disagreeing with George, but it 100% makes the Rams better. I've been out on Goff, and I've more specifically been out on McVay being in on Goff for the past 6 months. He did not trust that guy. He loved his defense, held it tight, and he was just, Jared, don't make a mistake. And there goes Jared, pick. So he was not a big fan of Jared Goff. And I think, you got a defense like that. George makes a point. You got Ramsey. You got who knows how long Aaron Donald has in this league still, because he had the rib injury last year. So you got to cherish those years. He's the best defensive player since JJ Watt had his run. Now it's Aaron Donald. So yeah. I think you got to cherish that run. And Stafford, he makes those plays that Jared Goff isn't capable of.
Yeah, I think he improves the team. I made a take on a Vikings podcast I was on. We'll talk about that after. But I said the Chargers will be in the playoffs next year, and the Rams will be the team to miss out on the playoffs. I think Stafford is improvement at quarterback, but one thing that he hasn't proven, and we can't even judge him on it, is he hasn't played in a big meaningful game in 5 or 6 years since he had Megatron, and he hasn't played in a big game yet. So we don't know how he does under that. It's week 17. It's a must win Monday night game. We haven't seen how Matthew Stafford performs in that position. I hope he does well, but I am skeptical about him winning the bigger games.
I think that's funny because, Herbert, big college guy, but he hasn't played in a meaningful game. I know he's still young. Yeah. So, I think it's interesting you compare those guys. But unless you count
the Rose Bowl.
I said big college guy. But
true.
I think Rams are a top 5 team in the league. That defense is 1 or 2, wherever you want to put them as far as how it stands today.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're going to win their division. I do have Chargers over Niners if they keep stale with Jimmy G. But Chargers got a lot of good energy, bringing a new coaching staff, young quarterback, lots of weapons. But I'm big on Rams this year. Shout out to
they'll be good. Their odds jumped all the way to 3rd in Super Bowl odds after the trade. And I just thought that was a super high jump for a quarterback who has never won a playoff game. So that's where my criticism was.
I would say
Lions, though. It is the Lions.
Third is a little
true.
High.
Yeah.
I would say almost top, fringe top 5.
So was it Bucks, Chiefs, or Chiefs, Bucks, and Rams?
Yep. That's what it was when the trade first happened. But you heard what I said. I said the Chargers will make the playoffs next year once their defense gets healthy. Herbert's going to have a new year under a better head coach. You have the offensive weapon. So where I say this is the Chargers, they have the Chiefs in their division. They have the Raiders and they have the Broncos. The Raiders and Broncos are going to be awful. John Gruden, I don't know how he is still a head coach in this league. He has not taken him to
contract. That's why.
But he's the only head coach who has missed the playoffs 3 straight years and not been fired. Only head coach.
Interesting.
I have one other thing. He falls apart in November. Not a secret, but he has.
Very true.
I think it's 4, 7, and 3 or better teams to not make the playoffs. I'm like that makes no sense.
Yeah, So I have the logic of the Chargers making the playoffs and the Rams missing is the division. It's going to be the Chiefs, then the Chargers in the standings. But the Rams, you have Arizona, who's going to be better. San Francisco will be healthy. Jimmy G is a question. And then you have Seattle, who I think they are taking a step back, but they're still Seattle, and you can never count them out. George, what are your thoughts on that take?
I don't know, man. The AFC is I'm just looking at who made the playoffs last year. Chiefs are going to go back. Bills, I think, will make it back. I have faith in Wentz in that system with his old head coach, and that defense is going to be top 3. Browns are better. Titans and Ravens will be back. Steelers might fall off depending on what they do with their offensive free agents. But maybe if they sneak in, are they adding a playoff spot this year? I know they were thinking about it, right?
I believe it's gonna be this. I believe it's gonna be 7 like last year. I believe they're doing 7.
Are they adding the extra game this year? Because I think they're gonna do them.
Oh, it's an extra game.
I was hearing about that. Yeah, they're added. They are. I mean, it's in the right now. They're getting approval from like all of the networks and stuff.
Oh.
No, all the networks. Then they're gonna go to the players, and it's gonna be 17 games and 3 preseason games instead of 4.
I don't know if I can say with like a confident pick that the Chargers will make it.
Okay.
I'm a big Herbie guy though. He's fun
I
to watch.
loved Herbert. Yeah.
And he's got the weapons, so I mean I wouldn't be shocked, but my main thing is just I got Rams over Chargers, and that was the question I kind of heard.
Yeah.
I can see them both making the playoffs.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. And yeah, I hope both teams perform well, because having all the LA teams in the playoffs, that's always fun.
LA reigns supreme.
Yeah, that's always fun. But I guess my last question for NFL talk really is, which team or player has the most to prove next in this upcoming season? I'll start with you, Lehman.
George, did you take Carson Wentz?
If you have him, you can take him.
I have 2 because I think it's obvious Carson Wentz is the obvious pick, but I have a backup, so I'll go. Like I said, the Falcons. They fired their coach midway last year, if I'm not mistaken. They fired him, and this is probably the last year they give it a go. And if it doesn't work, I mean, you could see it was even rumored last year like Julio might be out. Matt Ryan, I don't know how many years left in his contract, might be out. But Matt Ryan finally is an offensive coach for the first time in his career, and I think he can really benefit from that. And the offense never really been the problem though; it's the defense. So hopefully they can address that in the draft. But I think this is one of the teams on the cusp of like, are we going to rebuild? Or are we going to keep going for it? So yeah. I got the Falcons as far as what to prove.
All right, I like it, George.
For player, I'm like Lehman said, I'm definitely gonna go with Wentz. I had a lot of faith in him last season, not this year. But when he's back with Frank Reich, who was with him when he was well on his way to a MVP award before he tore his ACL, and I think with a top 5 O-line, a really really good up and coming offense with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman as weapons, maybe if they bring T.Y. Hilton back, I just think in a really good environment it'll help him. And if you look last year, the problem is he wasn't totally inaccurate. He just never had time to throw. He was the most sacked quarterback in the league.
He was hit a lot.
No weapons. Their top wide receiver pick, Jalen Reagor, out for the year or most of the year. Miles Sanders really wasn't anything, and that O-line was horrendous. They were in a horrible division, so they were like there to contend, but he didn't really get the benefit of the doubt in a bad situation. So I'm definitely looking to see what he does on the Colts.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Carson Wentz. Player-wise, 2 came to mind. The first one is being Jimmy G, because there's so much how Kyle Shanahan, he does not like him. He wants a Matt Ryan or Kirk Cousins there because he has ran an offense with them. He doesn't like Jimmy G, but I don't think they're going to trade him. I think they say, okay, you have one more year. Show us you are a good quarterback before we get rid of you, even if it's for nothing, because I mean, the 49ers are the team that I would say is a quarterback away, kind of like the Colts. You have that elite young defense. You have plenty of weapons on the offensive side, and you just have a meh quarterback. So I think Jimmy G has the most to prove. I also think if we're talking contract wise, Dak Prescott, he's probably going to get franchise tagged, and he's coming off an injury. But if he balls out next year, he's going to want to get a payday, and it could or couldn't be from the Dallas Cowboys. So those are the two that came to mind. I don't know if there's a team, maybe Miami, but I don't know. I'm excited for this upcoming season, but I'm excited for all the Deshaun Watson and all that to fall into piece and see who improves the most this offseason.
Are you I agree with the whole
Can you turn it up a little bit?
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Not really.
Okay, how about now?
Eh.
Whoops. Now?
Nothing now. Oh, whoa.
Now?
Nope.
Move on. I'll fix this.
Okay, no worries. We'll go back to if we have time, we'll go back to that. But that's all we have for tossing around the pigskin. We're going to be moving over to the NBA, where we actually have some not like breaking news, but stuff that has happened today that we'll talk about later. But tonight we have a big game in the NBA. The Lakers are taking on the Jazz. Lakers on a 3-game losing skid, and the world is falling apart in Lakers world as fans are saying ridiculous stuff on a 3-game losing streak.
Not me. No, I'm not overly ridiculous, Lehman. Not overly ridiculous.
He a little bit ridiculous. I showed you messages of someone who's a little bit more ridiculous, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Anyways, Lakers Jazz tonight. George, what are you expecting to see tonight?
So I'm not overly optimistic. I don't think it's going to result in a W, but the few things that I discussed last night on our podcast about what I want to see the most, I want to see the Lakers make open shots because we've been horrendous from 3 in a horrible 15-20 game slump. And then from Utah's side, I just want to see how they're going to defend LeBron, because one of the things that I haven't really seen from Utah, like they don't really have big name wing defenders. Royce O'Neal's a pretty good defender. I want to see if he guards LeBron, and just I want to see how the Lakers defend Utah's offense, because they generate a lot of open threes and good ball movement, and the Lakers have been okay rotating on the ball. So that's all I'm really looking for. I probably will care if we lose, but just know bigger picture, it won't matter.
Okay. Jacob, what are you guys looking for tonight?
How do I sound?
It's still like real low. I mean, I can hear you enough, but it's pretty low.
Now?
Not really, no.
I'm embarrassing your podcast.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Don't worry about it. While you get that fixed, I guess I'm with George. My thoughts on the game. You're not having no Schroeder again, no AD. It's going to be a tough matchup. Utah is the best team in the West currently, or in the NBA actually. But yeah, I'm with George. They need to hit open shots. They had plenty of good looks. And their last game against Washington, which went all the way to overtime. And I just want to see him hit open shots. I want to see Wes Matthews hit a few threes. I want to see Kuzma hit open shots, which he has done a lot of this year, but unfortunately against Washington, a team they should have beat, he was missing a lot of open shots, and they took way too many threes, that 45 of them against Washington. But let's not hit the panic button if they lose. This happened last year. I mean, we won't mention names, but I had someone reach out to me comparing how AD is basically Blake Griffin of last season, which makes and that we should trade him and do a soft rebuild, and how LeBron should be on the table. It's like, no, we're still championship contenders.
Did Jeff Van Gundy text you?
I don't want to name names because I don't want to call him out. But yeah, it was bad.
All right, Lehman.
Lehman?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
oh no. What happened, Lehman? What happened to Lehman? Yeah. George. So yeah, no panic, right, George?
No. Well, first off, Blake Griffin had multiple knee injuries, and he was a very athletic player. So not having his athleticism killed how he plays, and he had to completely reshape his game into more of a playmaking, scoring, hitting threes. AD hasn't even had a major injury. Like let's hope he, nothing comes out of this. He strained his calf or something near his Achilles. Nothing out of the ordinary yet. So no.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you're looking at an overall player, Blake Griffin until recently was known as a high fly dunker. AD he can dunk, he can get in the paint, but he could shoot a midi, he can dribble, bring the ball up the court, and he has a good 3-point shot. So by no means is he anywhere near Blake Griffin.
We just won a championship like less than 100 days ago, and people are already throwing out what happened. What AD is still before he got hurt was still shooting 40% from three. So
yeah, and it was the same. So I had conversations with this guy beforehand, and it was like he was like, well, AD looks so bad on offense. Okay, but he's the defensive player of the year right now. He's playing great defense. It doesn't like, so what, he's putting up 18 points. Like, he's playing great defense. And if you can be good at something, that's all that matters. And the same guy brought up to me after we won the finals, he said, AD is better than Jokic. And now what are we, 4 months removed? And now AD is Blake Griffin. Well, so he went from being the best in the league to Blake Griffin.
Recency bias is one hell of a drug in the NBA world.
Seriously, it every week it is a new, seriously.
Alrighty, Lehman, you ready to give it a try? He's on mute right now, so let's see. Oh,
it's worse. It's worse. He's mute. He's gonna mute. Okay. Well, Lehman's got the okay. He's got technical difficulties.
I guess we're gonna have to move on. Poor guy.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries. We'll come back to it if we got time. Oh,
AirPod season.
Oh yeah. So I guess the next thing is that you and Lehman are going to be debating. Lehman, do we have you?
He's connecting right now.
Okay.
We'll let him take the floor because I know the AirPods will work, even if he sounds a little bit echoey. It'll work better.
Yeah. Okay. And
come on.
Let's get it, Lehman. You're on mute.
I think he knows. He's
getting connected. Oh. We have technical difficulties here on the J Sports podcast.
On your rundown that you gave us, you said, are the Lakers actually in trouble? And no, this, like you said, we went on a 4-game skid last year. Around the same point, it was in like December, January, which is kind of caught up now because we started in December. So
yeah. And
this happens with every contender. The 73-9 Warriors did a lot to the game of basketball in terms of how people view and talk about it. Lakers fans, we're expecting to go out every night and win, and that's just not true, especially shortest offseason in professional sports history. We're integrating new players. AD gets hurt. LeBron's trying to manage his minutes. And then you go down against a team like the Nets, and Stephen A's out here proclaiming them champions. AD's not going to play, like he's coming back. It's just how the sports world is. And
my favorite Stephen A moment I get was these were 2 days removed. Brooklyn can't win a championship. They beat I don't even know who.
And then probably the Clippers or Lakers. Yeah,
I think it was the Clipper game. I don't even know, but it was after that, and then it was like, the Nets are bound to win the championship. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit.
He also said Kyrie should have retired.
He did.
3 weeks into the season.
Yeah. Okay. So I heard where he was coming from. Like, if you listen to the whole thing, his point of it was, if your mind is not on basketball, if your heart needs to be somewhere else, then put it somewhere else fully. Don't be half in and half dedicated to this team who could be really good. I heard where he was coming from there. But like, just the outline that Kyrie should retire, I mean, that sounds ridiculous. But when you heard what he said, it made a little bit more sense. Lehman, how we doing?
I don't even think he's connected yet.
He said 1 minute. 1 minute. He's got this. All right. Well, I'll stick.
You're on mute. You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
It muted you guys.
Oh, that's random. Do you hear us?
The sound quality is a lot worse, but we can hear you at least.
It's okay.
All right, I can hear you guys.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so Lehman.
I doubt it sounds good, but I'm back. Okay.
All good, Lehman. Okay, Lakers Jazz tonight. What do you want to see from the Lakers side, the Jazz side, and what do you expect to see?
Well, that's good. I'll make this quick. It's an irrelevant game. AD's not playing. Jazz are probably going to smoke the Lakers. It's the over/under is it's a Jazz minus 8.5. I'm taking the over on that 100%. I'm not a big believer in the Lakers right now. What I'd like to see is Lakers hit some threes, but that's the one thing they need. Other than that, hopefully if they can score in the paint this game, it'd prove a lot because Gobert's a great rim protector. But other than that, kind of an irrelevant game for me.
Fair enough. I will say if the Lakers do beat the Jazz, I would tune into First Take in the morning because it'll be the Jazz are not contenders. That'll be the talk for
regular season frauds, 2015 Hawks. Here we go.
That's what it'll be. And just quickly, Lehman, are the Lakers in trouble with this skid they're on, or pump the brakes?
They're not really in trouble. I would say they're sort of in trouble just because health-wise, this is not the first time AD's been fragile. You watch Pelicans games every 3 games. He's getting carried to the locker room, and he comes out after halftime, and he's good again. He's scary to watch, but he's also fun to watch. He's probably the second most important player on this team, and it's scary just because he could go out at any moment, and then with this injury, he could tear his Achilles, knock on wood, any moment. So it's just tough. How long can you sit him out? Will it really make any difference? But just gotta be careful with it.
Yeah, totally. I agree. So you and George have some disagreements on the Lakers trade. Like, if the Lakers should make a move, George, you are very bent on Trevor Ariza, wing player. Jacob, we need a big man, a rebounder. That's where you guys are. So I just want to hear you two debate it out. I'll start with George here. Why do you think the Lakers need a wing more than a big?
So listen, I get where Lehman's coming from in terms of like right now because AD's hurt. And sure, Hassan fixes up, the few rebounding problems we have and just inside defense. But if you look, come playoff time, he's going to collect DNPs. He's not going to play at all, especially because he's not the highest of IQ players and he can't shoot. He can't space the floor. We can't put Trez and him out on the same time. That's going to be just a blunder in the paint. A 3-and-D guy like an Ariza or a PJ Tucker, you can use those in series against the Clippers. You can put him on, a wing like Joe Ingles, Bojan Bogdanovic in the Jazz against a Jay Crowder or a Mikal Bridges in the, there's so many wing defender you can use in the playoffs. You're not going to use Hassan Whiteside in a big series. So that's where I'm at, Lehman.
Okay, so you're like, you mentioned 3-and-D, and I know I probably sound crappy right now, but I'm going to get my point across. All right, I'd rather play Alfonso McKinney minutes over Trevor Ariza. He's the same. Okay. He's basically the same player. And you mentioned we need 3-and-D players. We got I'll name them all. I have the roster here. KCP, Alex Caruso. They need to take Quinn Cook off here. He's not on the Lakers anymore. Taylor Horton Tucker, who long pause. LeBron, who can D up when he wants to. Kuzma, Wesley Matthews, and Markieff Morris. Where does Trevor Ariza? Who does Trevor Ariza play over those guys?
Well, the thing with THT is, he's great in creating and scoring, but he does have a lot of defensive miscues lately. And I know he's young; he's 20. I don't know if he gets big, considerable minutes in a playoff series. I know Wes Matthews will a ton, so Wes Matthews could take a lot of those minutes, but Ariza could catch spotty minutes in a run, and for health reasons, I just feel like having insurance 3-and-D is better because that's how the playoffs work. You need guys who can get stops and not sit in the paint and get some rebounds.
Well, that's fair. So I guess I'll defend my statement now of needing a big. So what was the Lakers' biggest strength last year in the bubble?
Defense.
It was their shot blocking.
Their what?
Rim protection, rebounds, shot blocking. Oh, he can't hear us.
Oh no, Lehman. Don't do it to us, Lehman. No,
They went out.
oh man. Oh no, this is no bueno, guys. This is no bueno. I was loving it. Oh, yeah, Lehman. No. I guess because okay, so I side with Lehman on this one on the rim protecting big man kind of thing, and I know we've talked about like the floor space of Trez and Hassan can't work and it would be awful. I could see it meshing together and it would be all right if you have him out with Schroeder and I don't know Wes Matthews and maybe
Like
Kuz,
KCP,
THT,
yeah.
KCP. Yeah, you spread them out with shooters, you can make it work. But I just don't know.
I'm hesitant against a big man because like when we played Denver in LA, not when AD got hurt, Trez, AD and Mark played incredible. Jokic had 13 points, incredible defense, rotations were great, and it showed that Jokic is the most dominant big in the West that you would have problems with and need to address. And I feel like we showed how we can stop him there. And Hassan, would he even get minutes against him? I don't think so. I wouldn't want Hassan on Jokic because he would get into foul trouble too easily.
Possibly. I could see that, but I mean, I guess where I would see having Hassan is, okay, he gets into foul trouble. All right, put Trez on him. Like you would have the other bigs to just throw at him because, I mean, Trez did work. Trez did a very good job against Jokic when we met Denver, holding him to 13 points. And a lot of it was Montrez and Marc Gasol. So that's where I see having the big as a benefit is you have bigs to throw fouls at.
And listen, the waiving of Quinn Cook gave us 2 roster spots, so we could be arguing for no good reason. They could go grab Hassan. They could go grab a PJ Tucker, a decent wing defender, and then we're all happy at the pods. So
fair. Yeah, fair enough. I would say I would rather have PJ Tucker than Trevor Ariza.
That's fair. To be fair, I don't know how in shape he is because I haven't seen him play in like over a season or two. PJ Tucker, you can literally throw him in the corner and he's good to make 2 to 3 threes in a series.
And he'll be okay on defense. He's not gonna be putting in great work on D, but he'll be all right and he'll be good enough. But yeah, I agree with you. I said PJ Tucker would be a good move. I know we can't swing it. Drummond would be amazing, but we can't swing that. If we could, I mean,
I don't see him getting bought out, and at that point, if he does, he's going right to Brooklyn or right to Boston. So.
Oh yeah. I still think Toronto is the best. I think that's the most likely trade that happens is Toronto. But I mean, I don't know how I feel about Blake Griffin coming here if in a buyout situation. I'd rather have PJ Tucker than Blake Griffin if we're comparing those two. For the wing guy, I don't know how good. I just don't know what Blake has left.
Lehman, are we good?
Don't buy AirPods, anyone. Like these
suck. We can hear
I'm good for now. It'll probably go back in 5. I'm not high on the Blake Griffin acquisition. I think Trez is probably better than Blake Griffin at this stage in his career. And we have Anthony Davis, so he's not starting. So I mean, he has to play the 4. He can't be a 5. He can't be a 3. He has to be a 4. And we got Trez and AD already there. That's why I think Hassan just an actual 5. And I don't know, George is acting like he's collecting dust in Sacramento. Just last week, he had a 16 and 14 game off the bench in like 20 minutes. So I think you really undervalue him. And as I said, as I was going out, we lost Dwight and we lost JaVale, and they were a key part of everything. I was fine. I was like, yeah, Marc Gasol, he'll run the offense a little better from the high post and all this stuff. Those bounce passes are sweet. But I was like talking myself into like, we're just going to play different style. But like when you got bigs like Jokic in the West, you got to have some beef up front. Shout out Arby's. So I mean, I really think that Hassan would be a bigger help than like a Trevor Ariza, who I agree with George. You bring in Hassan, he's probably not playing in a series against the Suns, because they only have one true big.
Don't want him on Ayton either. Yeah,
you want some bodies to throw when you're playing those centers in the West.
Yeah. So we did talk about it while you were fixing your AirPods. I said about how the first game the Lakers played against Denver in LA, not when AD got hurt, that Trez, Mark, and AD played incredible defense on Jokic. And I just felt that in that sense, like we didn't need, because the big talk happened even before that game, and that game happened, completely shut him down. And it's like, why would we need a big? I get it for insurance reasons, especially right now. If we brought him in, we like I just said, we have 2 roster spots. If we brought him in and a wing defender, it's the best of both worlds, because I think those are our 2 needs right now. So I get what you're saying. I just feel like in the long run, in the playoffs, I would want someone who could get minutes in a meaningful series. I don't think Hassan gets many minutes in any meaningful series.
My point was, after that, was saying, if you bring in Hassan, you have an extra, because George said, well, he'll just collect fouls. Well, that's fine. That's better than AD or Trez collecting fouls. You throw Hassan in there, he fouls out. That's fine. You have 3 other defenders to throw at him, and they don't necessarily have to be super careful.
I get that.
George and Jacob just froze. What's going on here?
I'm here. Hello. Hi.
Wow, we're having a real bad technical difficulty.
Actually, Josh Nowakowski
froze podcast.
I see George.
I am so sorry.
He's gone. No.
It's still recording. The 2 things Laker needs is Hassan Whiteside and then bringing Quinn Cook back. That's the 2 things they need.
All right, Josh, you're back. You're back.
Okay, yeah, you guys were frozen on me too. Okay, cool.
All right.
All right. We did the Lakers talk. So the breaking news, I guess, the second half of the NBA season was the schedule got released. So I don't know if you guys have had the time to kind of take a look at it. Are there any games that you're looking at that are like, hey, those look like good games? The only games I've been able to find are going to be the nationally televised games that they're promoting as good games, and I've only found a few that are actually good games. But George, any games? I'll start with you.
I'm just going down like the Twitter on NBA. I guess Lakers Clippers, Lakers Warriors. I guess the biggest thing for the Lakers is we have a 7-game road trip again, and we have 8 back-to-backs. It's just cannot catch a break. I guess there's a really big one at one point. After the 7-game, we play Boston and then Utah twice in a baseball style. That stretch is going to be pretty key for us. I guess the one game that I've seen so far, and then I'll get to Jacob, is going to be on March 16th. It's New Orleans versus Portland. New Orleans has seemed to be improving. Portland is looking really good in the West. I think that would be a big game on the Pelicans side for them to get a win. But yeah, there just aren't many. Portland and Miami, March 25th, that'll probably be a good one. But Jacob, are there any good games that you found?
So I'm like George, I'm trying to look through Twitter and see some of the marquee matchups. But I found myself in 2015 on the timeline, so it's not working out too well. But yeah, I don't have a lot, so I don't want to stall us out here more than I already have. So yeah, I don't see a lot of. I just haven't had time to look through it.
Fair enough. George, have you found anything, or if
so
not, we'll just move on?
Miami plays the Bulls April 24th and April 26th. That could be playing implications. They also played Toronto. The Bulls played Toronto in March and May, so potentially more playing implications. I guess since we don't have the full NBA slate, the most important games are going to be the ones between predominantly in the East, because the standings are so close, and in 2 months it could look completely different. In the West, you pretty much know where you're getting. It's going to be like the Warriors, Denver, San Antonio, and like Josh said, the Pelicans, who are going to be around there hovering and contending. So yeah, those games are going to be the most key come April and May.
Yeah.
One thing I will add, so I'm not completely useless. We talked about this before. Wizards are going to have a lot of games to make up because that 2.5 week, stint with their COVID. And I'm looking at it right now. They open up against the Grizzlies, and then they have a back-to-back against the Sixers in March, and also the Knicks, the 23rd and the 25th of March. They go back-to-back with the Knicks. So if they keep, they're on a pretty steady rise up right now. So those Knicks games will be pretty important come March.
Yeah, for sure.
Vying for play-in spots.
Knicks finally playing meaningful games since around 2012, 2013. Thank goodness we're back here.
Yeah. And once we get more closer to those games, we'll break those down when, the Hawks and Hornets are playing, or some of those games that actually really do mean something, and we have a better look at the playoffs. We'll definitely break those games down. But it's time for Jacob's rematch. So on a couple pods ago, we did NBA Jeopardy. Jacob took the L. He went big and I mean, baseball reference, but swung.
I went
and
big
missed.
and went home.
Yeah, you swung and missed. But so this time I didn't do NBA because I couldn't come up with that many more NBA questions, but we're all Laker fans here. So it's a Lakers centric Jeopardy. So I'm going to screen share this to you and we are going to get started. First, Jacob, how are you feeling right now?
I feel like I have George on NBA knowledge. I was proven wrong last time, but I know I'm always the arrogant one, but I think George might have me on Laker. He gets a bit intense about Laker facts.
Okay. George, how are you feeling right now?
God, he's putting the pressure on me. I know what he's doing here. He's smart. He's setting me up to fail. This is great.
So you guys can see the whole thing, right? I just want to make sure because we have had problems today. Okay. So we for you,
Jeopardy board always looks swell. Good stuff on Chase boards.
Oh, thank you. I'd use it's like jeopardylabs.com or something like that. But for our podcast Spotify listeners, categories are retired jerseys, blockbuster trades, draft picks, historic games, and career stats/awards. So I'm gonna do this. Winner goes first. So George, you're gonna pick the question. Either of you can answer the first question.
Got it. Okay. Right. Historic games 200.
All righty. We're going random again. All right, that's fine with me. In 1969, he grabbed an impressive 42 rebounds. George.
Wilt?
Who is Wilt Chamberlain?
Oh.
So this one should be easier. It should be. I felt they were a little bit easier, but I guess we'll see. The 500-point ones are a lot easier. Also, if a cat
are you yanking my chain again? Or are you gonna ask me for the first score ever?
No. The 500 ones are.
Who was the Lakers' first draft pick in 1947?
No, that one is not in there. That one is not in there. Also, just to let you know, if a cat comes into my frame, that's because I have 4 cats roaming the house at the moment. But okay, so George, where you want to go next?
Let's go blockbuster for 2. I'm going all over the place early on.
Sticking low though.
And wait till I finish the question. The Lakers got big shot Rob Horry from which team? This one was a tough one because he had traveled a lot.
There's 2 teams I'm thinking of, and I don't know which one it is.
Well, I'm not going to narrow it down for you then. You're going first here.
And no one can answer, and we can just beep it.
Come on, Lehman, take it.
Oh, I'll go. He was on the Rockets. Maybe it was the Rockets. Maybe he made one step before that, but I'll go Rockets.
Okay, Rockets is wrong. George?
Negative 200.
I ain't taking this one.
You're not taking it?
No, I was thinking Rockets.
Come on.
Who is the Phoenix Suns?
Would not have said that. I was thinking Spurs, but then I realized he won in 03 with Timmy D. So.
All righty, George, you were the last one to answer it right. Where are we going?
Let's do career stats and awards for 5. Let's get the big ones out here.
Okay.
Lehman's got a chance
what
to
did I put for this one? Okay.
Prove himself here.
We'll see right here. Oh, the Lakers have had only 2 players win the scoring title more than one time in a Laker uniform. Who are those 2 players? George.
Is it Kobe and Wilt?
Nope.
Fuck.
Okay, so I know Kobe's not on there. I don't know if Wilt. I'm just thinking.
I thought Kobe had 2.
Wait, so Jacob, are you gonna answer it or no? Right now, you're in the lead. No.
No. I know Kobe's not on there though. That's the trick part.
Kobe is on there.
I suck. All right.
So
who is the answer?
Who is Kobe and George Mikan?
Will didn't get one. I thought Kobe had 1.
Yeah, Kobe got 2. It was back-to-back years.
Will had seasons of averaging like 50. What?
He never had
Philly.
a score
Philly.
For Philly, yeah. It was in a late. So okay, so we know.
I interpreted it wrong.
He said no. Josh, you said in a Laker uniform. Don't give George like the rundown. You said Laker uniform.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure so we know the whole time. All of these questions, anything is when that person was on the Lakers. Only.
Josh. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I thought wrong. That's my fault. Right. No, sorry.
So George, you were still the last one to get a question right. Where are we going?
Draft picks for 100.
Fair enough.
Oh, come on. It's Darius Morris.
The Lakers have gotten the first overall pick how many times?
Okay. Shoot.
George.
Oh, twice.
Nope. Jacob, you want it?
I don't want to count. No.
No.
I think it's. I'm not gonna. Just show the answer.
3.
Was it Mike? Was Mike in one? Was Mike in one?
No.
Because it's Magic, Worthy, and who?
Okay, well, I guess you already know that one. Magic, Elgin, and yeah, I'm just letting y'all know. Yeah. I'm letting y'all know right now. You got to know. You should know some Elgin Baylor stuff.
Yeah, I already knew that.
Okay, George, still the last one. Current score: George minus 400.
Jacob, we do not look like Laker fans right now.
All right,
retired
George.
jerseys for 4.
Oh my gosh. Okay. He may have never played a game in a Laker uniform, but this broadcaster has his jersey up in Staples Center and a statue outside Staples. I saw George's first.
Chick Hearn.
There we go.
Whew.
All right, George.
Finally out of the negative zone. Draft picks for 2.
Draft picks for 2. The last time the Lakers had the number 1 overall pick was 1982, where they drafted this Hall of Famer. Jacob.
Worthy.
Bingo. All right. We are even 0-0.
Look, yay.
All right. Even.
Thank God. I'll retire jerseys for 5.
Okay. You're going to wish you did 1 and 2 first.
That's good. That's good.
Name all 11 players who have their jersey retired in the purple and gold.
All right. I'm going to shoot for it. All right. So is Kobe count for 1 or 2? Oh, George raised hand. Okay, go. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so George.
No. Oh, I was counting. I'm counting.
Oh, okay.
You raised your hand. Answer.
Kobe counts for 2.
I'm counting. I'm getting ready to count.
Y'all can count. I'll give you more time on this one. Kobe counts for 2 though. And actually, I can't name that part. Kobe counts for 2.
Should be 12 soon. Get Powell's number up
Powell.
there.
I was thinking, who's he thinking of? Powell. I guess Derek Fisher comes to my mind too. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. They gave that number to Zoe when he was here.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, Jacob wants it. All right, Jacob.
All right. So we got Kareem, we got Kobe, we got Elgin, we got Jamal Wilkes, we got Shaq. We have Jerry West. There's now. Did I say Worthy already? Okay, so there's still 7. Damn, I named them all and then I lost track. Gail Goodrich. I named them all and then I forgot.
You're forgetting a big one.
I named them all and then I forgot. I said Magic. Oh, okay, that's 9. And there's who played in the. I don't know if there's a time limit.
No, you're good.
I think I said Will already.
You did, but there's another pretty predominant player.
Oh, George Mikan.
He's not on there. His jersey is not. I thought his was too. His jersey isn't retired.
Then I'm done. Head this over to George then, I guess.
All right.
Is George looking it up?
No, I'm typing it out. I'm typing it out.
Is George looking it up?
I'm typing it out on my phone.
Okay, George, do you want to take it?
I'm not I can't think of the last one, so I'm not taking it.
Kobe, Wilt, Elgin, Gale, Magic, Kareem, Shaq, James, Jerry West, Jamal Wilkes. Jacob, you didn't name Kareem, was one of them.
I said Kareem first, I thought.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't get 11, so.
Yeah. All righty. Jacob, you're the last one to get a question right.
I'm also the only one with negative points. Give me draft picks for 3.
Draft picks for 3. Lakers had the number 2 overall pick in 2015, 2016, 2017. Who did they draft? Lehman.
We got D'Lo, we got Ingram, and we got Lonzo.
Yep.
Who'd you forget, George?
I saw his face. He definitely forgot someone.
Oh, he's not there, actually. Move on.
Yeah. We can't hear you.
I was on mute. I was on mute.
Okay.
I was on mute.
Who'd you forget? I saw your face.
So I thought Randall was 15. I'm like, he was number 7. My bad.
Got it.
Lehman.
All right, Lehman.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Draft picks for 4.
Fair enough. The Lakers drafted this big man with the 10th overall pick in 2005, won 2 championships with the Lakers, but was once traded, never was the same player. Jacob.
That's Bynum.
Yep.
Are you sandbagging me, George? Are you just letting me get these answers?
I raised my hand. I guess I didn't get it up in time.
No, Lehman was free. I loved Andrew Bynum. I don't know about you guys, but Bynum was one of my.
He was a beast.
Bowling.
He was
bowling and bowl haircut. That's what he was known for.
Yeah.
Blockbuster trades for 3.
All righty. When the Lakers traded Shaq to Miami, in return they got this player. They won 2 championships and was the 6th man of the year in 2010, 2011. That one was George.
Lamar.
A little early, but I'll give it to him.
Lamar.
That was Lamar Odom. I did not realize they got him in the Shaq deal.
Yep.
Yeah, him and Butler, I believe.
Yep, Caron Butler was a part of that one, yeah.
Retired for 3.
Who was the first Laker to have their jersey retired? You get a bonus 300 if you name both because they were both retired on the same night. George?
Was it Magic and Kareem?
Nope.
I'm going to give it a shot.
All right.
Jerry and Wilt.
You got okay, wait. Who you did get
Jerry
one of them
first. Oh.
I said Wilt first, actually.
No, you didn't. Stop the gap.
You did say Jerry first, but you did name one. Oh man. Okay.
Give it,
I don't want the bonus 3. I don't want
No, you didn't get so you got Wilt. It was Elgin and Wilt. So I'll give you the
100.
Yeah, okay, I could do that. So what? So
the 150.
So 300.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I gave him 100 for that. So it was Elgin and Chamberlain were retired on the same day.
You're welcome, Lehman.
And then actually, so in the research, West was retired 10 days later.
Yeah, after I knew it was gonna be those old guys.
Yeah.
Of course, Elgin was there. I should have known.
I just remembered the rocking chair. I thought that was the same.
Let me get historic games for 400.
Okay. This forgotten Laker played 567 consecutive games with the Lakers.
Historic games, huh? Were they all historic? All 567?
Oh, no.
Is this the historic part?
This is just the historic part that it was that many in a row.
I'm down to 2, believe it or not.
Really? Are you going to give it a shot?
It was exactly 567, right?
567.
So you can look that up on your computer?
No, because AC Green played about 1,200, I believe, in a row. You know, he's known for consecutive. I'll go AC Green. I don't believe I got it, but I'm going to go AC Green.
Raise your hand, man. Okay. It was AC Green.
Yes, sir. Okay, so you did not. He must have played 1,200 total.
Yeah, so it was 567 and I don't know if he played with another team. It's just 567 with the Lakers.
Yeah.
So he could have been traded and then played consecutive there. But Lehman up 700. George dead even at 0.
Let's keep him there. Historic games for. I'm gonna take the big play out of the way, so I'm gonna go 500. So that way George can't get beat.
Ooh, okay.
This is gonna be hard. I know it is.
Elmore Smith had. I almost went reverse, and I'm glad I didn't. Elmore Smith had the night of his life when he had how many blocks in a single game. He currently holds the Lakers record for blocks in a game. Either of you even want this?
I have a guess, but I'm up 7-0. I can't. I know Bynum had 11 in a playoff game, so he holds that record, but I don't know who Elmore Smith is, so I'm going to keep quiet.
Okay, George? Nope. 17.
I was going to say lower than that, so that's good.
Yeah, I was going to reverse it. Who had 17 blocks in one game? And I saw the answer. I was like, I don't even know who this guy is. All right, Lehman.
Shout out Elmore Smith. Draft picks for 5.
Draft picks for 5. Taking the big ones out. My goodness. With the 60th overall pick in 2012, they drafted the bald-headed big man from Gonzaga.
No.
That's Robert Sacre.
That
Or
is
Sacre.
Robert Sacre.
He wore number 12. Dwight came into town. He wore number 50. That's how it goes.
George is so upset he got that one wrong.
I thought George was gonna beat me to that. That was just a hand racing contest.
Too. All right. Currently, Jacob 1,200. George still at 0, but there's still some game left. Jacob, where you want?
Blockbuster trades for 5.
All right, George, you better get in on this one.
I know this is gonna be tough.
The Lakers gave up how many draft picks to get Steve Nash? They only gave up draft picks. Lehman.
I have a number in my head, but I'm not confident.
I got it's between 2 numbers.
Did you raise your hand for it?
I did raise my hand.
Okay, what do you want? How many?
3.
What? Sorry.
3.
Nope. George, do you want to take a crack?
No, because I'm going to go down 1,200 if I get it wrong, and I'm not confident.
4.
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
It was
Damn.
3 or 4.
2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Yeah. Damn. All
Still
right.
in it somehow.
Blockbuster trades for 4.
What did the Lakers give up to get 80?
We have to name the
LA?
full package.
The full package, draft picks and players.
Oh,
I
I don't know
reviewed this
that.
like
So hang on.
Okay.
You don't need to name the round. You need to name how many draft picks and the name of the player.
All right. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay.
The swaps are fucking me over right now.
No.
We got the young guys. All right. We got Lonzo, Bi, and Josh Hart.
Okay.
And then we have 3 firsts and 2 pick swaps. Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
So I forgot to write down the pick swaps, but there were 2 pick swaps. But the 3 first, if you just said the 3 first rounders, I would have been fine with that. All right, Jacob, 1,100. George 0.
That's what I was
keep
thinking.
them there. Historic games for 3.
The only Laker to ever have 10 or more steals in a single game.
George, you feeling this one? I might hit the buzzer here.
All right, George.
Nah.
Jerry West.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but it makes sense.
All right, Lehman.
Retired jerseys for 2.
How many retired numbers do the Lakers have? George.
We just said 11.
Yep. I know. That's where I was like, you should have done those first before you went 500. I know. All right.
Real quick, what are the career stats and awards at right now? Do we have 1, 2, and 3?
1,
2, 3, and 4.
And 4? Oh, okay. And for the listening audience, I have 1,100. George has 200.
Career stats and awards for 4. I gotta knock these out.
Okay. The only Laker to win Defensive Player of the Year was in 1987. Jacob, I knew Jacob would know this one.
Michael Cooper.
Yep. I had a feeling, Lee, when I put that, I was like, that one's Lehman. I feel like Lehman would
I know irrelevant stuff. I'll tell you that much. Let's knock out these career stats and awards. Give me 3.
Holds the Laker record for highest points per game in his Lakers career with 27.4. George.
Kobe.
Nope.
No.
Huh?
Nope.
What?
No,
Nope.
Kobe had like 25 or so.
Mm-hmm.
This is for 3?
Yep.
Fuck it, I'll say LeBron.
Nope.
Okay.
It was Elgin Baylor.
Of course it was. When in doubt, I'm supposed to say Elgin Baylor.
Yeah, basically.
Just an Elgin Baylor love letter at this point.
I love Elgin Baylor. Yes.
Am I the last one to get one right, or is George?
You.
Let's go career stats and awards.
George, are you searching up how many the career points per game Kobe had?
Kobe had like 24, 25.
I really have to think more. I can't. For some reason, I thought.
Don't hurt yourself.
I thought highest in a season. I'm like, Kobe had 35 in fucking 07.
All right, Lehman, where you want to go?
Career stats and awards for 2.
He has the most triple doubles in a Laker uniform. Jacob.
Magic.
Yep.
Bron,
That's George. That's George. That's George. You put George up. You give George points.
Oh man. Oh, my bad. There you go.
Come on, man.
My bad.
I want to keep George negative. That's my goal. Let's go. It's gonna be a handwriting contest at this point now. Let's go blockbuster trades
for 100. The Lakers acquired this Hall of Famer in 1974 from the Bucks.
Oh, he cheated.
Kareem, just give Kareem.
I raised it first after you finished. I would say Kareem as well.
Oh my god!
I'm trying to keep him negative. What's wrong with you?
It's fine. He'll get one wrong, maybe. I don't know.
He cheated. All right, go George.
Retired for one.
Oh, look at how the tide has turned. George is sad.
Did you count George
Laker to have two different numbers retired? George.
Kobe.
The way he's saying it. Oh my gosh. All right, historic or career?
Career.
Now that I can't keep him negative, I'm just gonna. I'll let him get 3.
You could let him get negative if he misses these 2. I mean, if he gets them wrong, I guess. The Lakers have had how many different players? What? Sorry, I can't. Players win regular season MVP.
This is 100.
Yeah, I know it's a tough one.
Well, you made it, so why are you confused?
No, I couldn't see, and I got it.
You're good.
Anyone want to raise?
George is counting them out.
I'm thinking. Is it
George?
4?
Yep. Oh, why won't it let me hit the space bar? There we go. Good job, George.
I can't get under. I can't go under negative now.
Historic games for 100. Holds the single game record for points in a game in the purple and gold. George.
Mr. 81. Oh, no. Wait, Will. Wait. Oh.
Wait, what's
Wait,
your
okay.
I'll let you change it.
It's Kobe because Will got it in Philly, so it's Kobe for 81.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were gonna say Wilt.
I thought he was gonna say Wilt, and I was gonna go.
I thought he was too. Okay, so that is it for the game. George 300, Jacob 1400. So that is Lakers centric Jeopardy. That was fun. Jacob, you got your little bit of revenge there. Don't worry, Jeopardy is not going anywhere. On Friday, we are going to have George and Josh Rhodes, the other full-time hooper on the pod, doing NFL Jeopardy, and I'm excited for that. So, Jacob, congrats on the win. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully he sounds a little better than I do, but I'll be back with the mic hopefully next time we're on.
You sound amazing. George, well, what do you got to say about after this performance?
Got to get back in the lab. Apparently, I don't know my Elgin Baylor Lakers history because
turn on Spectrum Sportsnet right now. They got some top 10s on, I'm sure.
I have to become better at like thinking about Lakers and not because I was just thinking NBA overall, and then I was thinking big picture like Kobe in a season and not overall. So my brain, I had a brain blast.
No worries. Hey, we're gonna have more Jeopardies because these are fun and I enjoy watching these go down. But Jacob, you got the win. So tell everyone where we can find your podcast with George and Josh.
Yeah, you can find us at TH Hoopers on Instagram and Twitter. You put that on Spotify, you'll find us that way. Full name 2.5 Hoopers, but no one wants to type all that out. So TH Hoopers. I promise I sound better on our podcast, and make sure you tune into NFL Jeopardy with Josh on next Friday because I know I will be. I'll be busy, but I'll be listening to it afterwards.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for being on the podcast again. We'll definitely do it again because I enjoy doing all the talk with you two and doing the Jeopardies. But until next time, this has been Joshua Nowakowski of the J Sports Podcast. Peace. Stop.